Yeah.
Good morning, everybody. Podcast 79. Jerome, can you confirm that number for me? Yeah.
Here we go.
Podcast 79. You believe we shot that many podcasts? Crazy. So crazy. I'm still flabbergasted by this whole thing. Anyway, today's podcast, we got a lady with a lot of information. She does a whole bunch of things. But before we get started, I want to talk about our sponsor, which is Edible Arrangements. And we got the owner sitting at the table today, too. Let me tell you about it. Edible Arrangements sells beautiful fruit bouquets that can be dipped in chocolate and delivered to that special someone on their special day. A great alternative to flowers and candy. They also sell fresh fruit smoothies, fresh fruit boxes, fresh fruit and vegetable boxes, family fruit dipping kits, and a whole array of fruit snacks. Their showroom is located at 3 Reenders Drive. You can call them at 669-6662 or order online, edibles.ca. Huh?
Edible.
Not bad.
Arrangements.com.
Wow.
Look at this one.
.ca.
How
.ca.
long until I'm allowed to pick at this one?
Yeah, can we eat it now?
We got 45 minutes. I feel like there's about 45 pieces. So if we did one a minute.
Sure.
Think so?
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Go for it.
Sounds good.
Do you eat this?
Well, before she answers that,
Yeah.
can I do her intro? Because that's going to answer
Okay,
your question.
yeah.
All right. So today's guest in the past has worked in the insurance industry, been a stay-at-home mom, and volunteered at your daughter's school as the lunch lady.
Worst job ever.
Looking for a new adventure, she started the entrepreneurial route and bought Edible Arrangements. She still maintains a career in the airline industry and is the president of her union for flight attendants. Man, you're a busy lady, eh? And we're only halfway through. She's a mom. She's a mom of lots of kids, not a specific number, but lots of kids through blended families. The oldest is 22. The youngest is 4. She's been with Fit Club for 3 years now and works out to maintain mental stability and clarity. A few interesting points. She doesn't eat fruit, RJ.
Oh.
Loves mushroom soup without the mushrooms and has an insanely competitive side. If she's in a group with others, she will push herself to the point of puking. Everybody, let's welcome Kyla Elias to the podcast. Woo!
This
How
is
you doing
really
today?
good. This is really good. Yeah.
You-
I do eat the pineapple.
It's hard to get fruit in
So-
season.
So why don't you eat fruit?
Mhm.
What is the reason behind that? You had a bad experience with fruit, you're allergic or what?
Carbs.
No, I just actually have never liked it even as a child, so it's really interesting that
So
I
you
bought a fruit
brought-
business, but at least I don't eat my own supplies,
Yeah.
so that's
Yeah.
good.
Yeah, if you were a drug dealer, it'd be perfect.
Yep,
You'd be
I'd
very
set.
profitable.
I'd be really rich.
Yeah, that was my downfall. So, anyways, let's break this down. You do a whole bunch of things. I find you actually very interesting that you can pull all this off, especially that you have lots of kids too. But let's talk about your entrepreneurial side, since we got you as a sponsor today, and we got this lovely display in front of us. And let's talk about COVID. How has COVID affected your business?
Wow, where do we start? Well, I got laid off the airline industry April 1st, and
Okay.
still not back, so I've been solely focusing on my business.
Mhm.
When COVID hit, my sales dropped by 70%, so I had to lay everybody off. Just my manager, myself, and my driver were operating. Normally, I have about 4 staff on a day, so we dropped to 2.
Mhm.
I guess 4 staff plus myself. So it was challenging in the beginning. I didn't know if I'd be able to keep my doors open. I wasn't sure really what my future was.
Mhm.
And unfortunately, as small business owners, RJ would know you still have to pay rent, you still have to pay hydro, you still have to pay everything. So I wasn't sure what my future was going to hold. When we went into total lockdown, and everybody realized this about 3 weeks, maybe 4 weeks later, everybody realized that you unfortunately can't go to a birthday party, can't celebrate someone's special occasion in a large group. Unfortunately, lots of sympathy bouquets were going out because funerals can be large gatherings. Business did pick up.
Oh, perfect.
Yeah, and then the second challenge I had is I do have a lot of kind of older retired staff, so they weren't comfortable working with the public, so I had to respect that. So then I had no staff,
Okay.
especially with CERB. Obviously,
Right.
it just during the summer, it was just more beneficial to.
That's everybody's challenge.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it was tough. It
Yeah.
was I was working in the beginning close to about 18 hours a day.
So you were making the bouquets?
I was doing everything,
Yeah.
Did you
driving.
make this one?
That one I did not make. I asked my manager to make it, so it looked really good.
Well, she probably and I remember we shot the video for her, and she's very a particular lady, so she's probably like,
Yeah.
Kylie, you're not touching this. I will take care of this. I imagine she probably even said that, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
she told me hands off. She'll do it. Yeah, anything that's promo, I'm not allowed to touch.
Okay.
There's not a lot of stuff in my store the staff like me touching, but
Yeah.
yeah. So, anyways, business started picking up. But the challenge was I had no staff. I remember RJ messaging me and Jen going, "Where are you?" I'm like, "I'm working all the time." Like,
Yeah.
so it was just a big change, right?
Yeah.
Like my life just got flipped turned upside down. I was pulling family in, pulling Troy in, pulling my parents in, pulling my in-laws in, just to kind of help out.
Did your landlord give you any kind of relief? Was there any something? No.
Nope.
Really, eh?
Yeah, I asked, and the payments I have of my delivery vehicles and stuff were delayed.
Mm-hmm.
But the person that I rent from, there was no.
Wasn't there
No
almost?
breaks.
It wasn't even mandated
What's that?
that there had to be rent relief for commercial.
They have a program out there for landlords that if they apply for it, then the government would cover 50%. Then the expectation is that the landlord would cover 25%, and then the rental would pay 25%. So I don't know why, and from what I'm hearing, most landlords aren't doing that program.
They weren't doing it. Yeah.
Yeah, so I don't know why. I guess they just don't want to fork out the 25%. I honestly don't know why. In my thought is like I would rather take some money than no money,
Yeah.
right? Especially if like every business in that strip mall. The problem that you're probably facing is the grocery stores are probably doing really well, and so they're like, well, the grocery store can pay their bills, why not you? But then I think it starts to trickle down, and they're like realizing, holy crap, I've got 4 tenants that can't pay their rent.
Yeah.
Maybe I should help out a little bit here.
And you never want to see that. It's great to have your anchor tenants, but you never want to see the empty ones in the middle. It looks awful.
And the problem with
No,
those
it
anchor
looks awful.
tenants is like, look at there's a Sobeys on Q8 that has been completely like it. I haven't seen anybody in there for 4 or 5 years now, and it's like you get a big anchor tenant, they take big space,
Yeah.
they pay more rent, but as soon as they decide that they want to relocate, or like in the case of these guys, shut down, that was like almost 2 years before they put another thing in there. So that's 2 years, no rent, big anchor tenant.
That is a lot of loss of income to that rental agency. Yeah.
Oh yeah. Oh, let's do this. Sorry, Jerome. Before we get
Draw.
into this, let's do the draw.
Oh yeah, I told everybody if we draw your name,
Yeah, we're giving away
and
money.
you don't claim it by the next podcast, Rick and I are, and I'm not joking.
Yeah.
Me, Rick, Jerome, and
We
now
should-
Jackie, we're spending it.
We should make a list of what we want to buy.
Yes.
All right. Kyla, you gonna go stick your hand in here
All
and
right.
pick
So
the winner?
this is courtesy of Synoptic Heating and Cooling for bringing a friend in.
Okay.
Yeah.
Go ahead. Make it fair.
There you go.
Who's the winner?
Sasha.
Oh,
Sasha!
She even said, "Am I gonna win today?"
Oh, did
She
she?
said that, and guess what? Great, congratulations, Sasha. I hope you're paying attention.
Yeah.
I'm not even going to mention it at the workouts. So remember, I'm going to go and spend it
So
if you don't
7
use
days.
it. 7 days. You have 7 days. We got one more now.
Actually, you know what? We'll do one more. Oh,
We got two
another
more.
one.
Yeah, we didn't do the one last week.
Okay.
we
So
gotta
that was
get-
for
we gotta get
125,
caught up.
correct?
That's 125 cash.
All right, picked another one.
Cash.
Giving away all kinds of prizes today.
Olivia,
Oh,
the Predator.
again?
Which one? She won again.
Holy smokes!
Nice.
There you go.
So she won.
She's heading out to fight actually.
Is she?
Yeah.
She just won a $500 hair package courtesy
She
of Gina.
just did,
over
yeah,
at
she won
Hair
last
Obsessions.
Everyone's scared of her, so she's going to win everything.
Yeah, exactly. I think she folds it like
She was
see,
probably like,
it's
put
all
my
about
name
that
on there.
fold, yeah.
Put my name on
Yeah.
there. I swear to God.
No, she's heading out to Vegas to fight, and so this was like a big. She was supposed to go 6 months ago.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So she's trying to bust her ass right now and make as much money as possible. She's gonna go live the old Rocky One. That's basically what she's
Work
doing.
out in a
out there.
barn.
She's gonna
Lift
do whatever
rocks.
she can. Yeah,
Run
live wherever
roads.
she can, and that's it. Yeah.
Yeah. How old is she?
She's
Can you
my
say?
age. I went to school with her.
She's
Oh,
40,
yeah?
41.
41. Yeah.
Oh, she's just a kid.
Yeah.
Nice. Okay, so back to COVID. I want to keep on this because I feel like a lot of things affected you, so I just want to get it out there. So
Yeah.
the business side is getting a little bit better now, though.
It is, yeah.
Okay,
yeah.
let's pivot over to your career in the airline industry. But before you do that, did you ever work where you actually took care of passengers? Like, was that part of your career at one point?
Yeah, like I'm a flight attendant.
Yeah, like I mean, like sort of like Air Canada or WestJet, where you took, because I know like right now you do like smaller planes, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. And did you ever do like 300-person planes or
No.
no?
No.
'Cause
I
I'll-
prefer to stay away.
I'll tell you what my
Why?
yeah, I want some stories.
Yeah, what's the
I want to
stories?
know like has anybody
From a airline attendant standpoint, I was gonna say stewardess.
Yeah.
Didn't
Don't
say
say
it.
stewardess.
You're not a masseuse. I get it.
And it's not a pilot either.
It's captain, first officer,
Captain.
flight attendant.
Okay, got it.
Flight attendant.
All right. So tell us some grueling, like not like. So what is it from that perspective? Because we sit there. I try to be as nice, but I don't want to put my seatbelt on.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? My kids are crying. Like, so what?
Yeah.
What
Like
is?
right from walking on the plane, when you see somebody and you're like, oh, there we go. I know he's gonna stink or something. Like,
Oh,
do you?
yeah.
Yeah. Do you have a kind of like a mental checklist? Like, this guy's gonna be an asshole. This one's gonna complain too much. She's gonna want crackers. Yeah. Yeah.
No, it's trust me. When we're sitting there smiling, saying "Welcome,"
Oh, yeah.
it's not exactly that's what's going in my head.
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah. So can you give us a story? Keep it like you don't have to tell us which company you were with at the time or whatever, but
Yeah.
anything
No,
good?
I have quite a few stories because a lot of my friends work for big airlines. So between all of us, we
Okay.
get together and talk about all our interesting passenger stories.
Okay, give us one.
It's just really interesting that you talked about a seatbelt. Okay,
Yeah.
so in a car, you put your seatbelt on.
Yeah.
Like it's really frustrating to go by on an aircraft
Yeah.
that people fight us on it. Like
Mhm.
it's like sometimes I want to phone up to the captain and say, "Can you just put the brakes on a little bit?"
Yeah.
'Cause there's lots of people with no seatbelts.
Oh yeah. That's happened to
And
my
if
kid.
Yeah, yeah. Just maybe just like tap them a little bit.
Yeah.
But no, it's like people walk through that door, and I don't know if you've seen like on Facebook and stuff, they have that that little ball that kids have where like you have to make shapes kind of fit in and stuff.
Oh yeah.
Mhm.
I find that really funny because like people will bring on these massive suitcase,
Oh god.
and it's my fault that it doesn't fit in the
Oh,
like,
yeah.
it's always my fault.
Yeah.
How do they even get through? That's what I don't get.
Yeah,
Like,
isn't there?
somebody needs to police that. When I get on an airplane, I see this guy bringing. They got 3 luggages, like full on luggage. I'm like, come on, pal. And then they got a big backpack, and some of them are bringing in like camping backpacks.
Yeah.
Yeah, the big ones.
Pay
Yeah.
the $25.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like,
Well, the
geez.
agents are supposed to catch that before they come on the aircraft because then as flight attendants, if you're wondering why we're delayed, it's because I can't get these bags to fit and I can't leave
Yeah.
until everything is secure.
Yeah.
Because we have to walk through, you have to do like a check and then you have to do your final check.
Yeah.
Um,
Have you
and then-
ever kicked anybody off a plane?
yes, we have. Yeah. Yeah.
For what?
Yeah.
For either disrespecting the flight attendant, disrespecting myself, or maybe hit the bar a little hard before they came on.
It's always the
Oh,
booze.
Yeah.
Always
Yeah.
the booze. That's the only
Yeah.
reason why I hate flying to Mexico is because everybody's in party mode and
Oh,
they're
yeah.
just bananas.
Oh, yeah.
Like they're already bananas before they board the plane.
Yeah.
And then they go buck wild like once we level off and they're allowed
Yeah.
to drink again. And
Yeah.
then by the time 4 hours later, they're all like lunatics,
Yeah.
like straight lunatics.
And that's
you know?
5 a.m.
Yeah, or
Yeah.
whatever,
Yeah.
right? Yeah, exactly. I'm trying to take a sleeping pill and pass out for 5 seconds, and this asshole's having a party over here next to me.
Yeah.
How many people take their shoes off, full socks off?
So you should see
You don't
Kate.
like
You
it?
should see
Ah.
my.
You don't like it?
I hate feet as it is. I
Uh-huh.
don't care if you have the most pretty feet. I hate your feet.
You should follow passenger shaming on Instagram.
Oh.
There's some good stories. But yeah, that's the other thing I don't understand too. Like they'll take their shoes off, they'll take their socks and go to the washroom. You should see my kids get on an aircraft.
Yeah.
They have socks. They have closed-toed shoes.
Mm.
They have sweaters. I almost put their snowsuits on when we go to Mexico because you never
Yeah.
know if you have an emergency, you're going to end
Totally.
up on the runway. You could have a 2-mile walk back
Yeah.
to the terminal.
Mhm.
And if you're in your flip-flops, shorts, and t-shirts,
Yeah.
well, have fun.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
and the other thing too is just plane lands and everyone wants to stand. Like,
I know. Where are you going?
Why do you want to stand with
Yeah.
someone's bum? Like, I
Yeah,
just
yeah,
don't. I
yeah.
just don't get
Sit
it.
down.
Yeah, just sit down.
Or the people that you're sitting there and then they're coming from the back and all of a sudden they bolt to the front and you're
Yeah.
like, really? Like,
Actually,
you
my
gotta chill out.
the last plane. You're right, because the last flight I was on, somebody did that, and this guy bolted and, of course, hit somebody in the back of the elbow or whatever. And
Yeah.
this guy was a older guy, and he just got right pissed off. And the guy was like overly apologetic, but at the same time was like, "But whatever, I'm still cutting you." You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah.
So it was one of those really awkward things. And of course, you're sitting there for 10 minutes, and everybody's feeling this weird energy. I was like, "Man, like what? You went to have 5 rows?
Yeah,
You can't.
yeah.
What do you use
Yeah,
your
what's
rush?
what's a rush?
Like,
We're
where
all
are you
in
going,
the
man?
same spot. Nobody's going anywhere. Just because you move 5 seconds faster doesn't mean anything.
Yeah. No, I love when people do that, and then you go to customs and they're standing right beside
Yeah,
you. I'm
yeah,
like, well,
yeah.
I'm really glad you ran from the back to
Yeah.
the front. Now I'm standing right beside
Yeah.
you.
Yeah.
So.
It's
I know.
crazy.
I feel like there's just like the Costco psychology. Like when COVID hit and everybody shopped at Costco, I was always so intrigued. Like, why Costco? You
Yeah.
can buy any. We buy your toilet paper any, but
Yeah.
everybody's going to Costco.
Yeah.
And I feel like there's a great psychology involved. As soon as you walk into a plane,
Oh,
it's
man.
like everybody's
Totally.
mind goes into some different realm. You know what I mean?
It's so true.
It's probably one of the most stressful situations. Like, you're at the grocery store when they never used to, like there'd be people coming at you and you're like trying to pack up and put your stuff in there, and then their food's coming down. That's super stressful to me, right?
Yeah.
other stressful situation is going to an airport. Like you got to get there 2.5 hours early.
Yeah.
Not and then what? And then sit in there and pay $20 for a coffee.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And then you got to like, okay, we're boarding now, and it's like, okay, we're sitting there for another hour waiting for every. You know what I mean? It's just, it's just a crazy experience.
Why did they make us come so early? Like, what's the reasoning behind it?
There's two things. There can be lineups at security. Like we want to make sure we're on time because if an aircraft isn't on time, you would have no idea the trickle effect it has on the entire day, no matter what airline that you're with. So going through security, the problem is if we say an hour, people come 45.
Right.
So
That's fair.
unfortunately now we have to say an hour and a half, and people get there an hour.
Yeah.
It's just what human nature is.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's more just because of line. You mean right now there is no lineups, but in general there can just be some lineups. There could be security issues. You just never know what's going to happen. You get the people whose bags are 80 pounds, and it's like, hey, it says 50. It's pretty clear.
Yeah.
So then we have to like empty their bags and it's just I'm not sure what happens to people when they travel, but something happens.
Yeah,
to,
they just
to
get.
their minds.
I think it's a real sense of entitlement. Like I paid my money, and now I want to just be serviced. I think you're locked into a plane, but you have nice people that are taking care of you, so you feel like I deserve this.
I'm already on vacation.
Yeah, exactly, right? So, and then it's almost like societal rules go right out the window, and you can just be a bitch or an asshole, no problem, right? I don't know. But I do find that most of the time the flights have for the most part been, but you always get that one weirdo.
And it really is just one or two.
Yeah.
Like 95% are always really, really good.
Yeah.
It takes those one or two.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
And then what would you say the biggest, besides price, what would be the biggest difference in first class to economy? Why? Because that's one of the things. I'm a frugal man, but I want to fly first class.
Well, the space. You're like, you go on a charter flight to a hot destination, you're just like, you can't move.
Yeah.
So the space would be huge, the free drinks.
Have you ever flown first class on a long haul?
No, not. I've flown first class
$10,000.
to,
Yeah.
where did we go? I can't remember. Punta Cana.
Oh, yeah.
Other than that, I haven't gone further.
Yeah, the Air Canada ones versus the whole, like you get a whole pod.
Yeah.
That's how you want to fly.
So where
you can fly first class with WestJet, and you're just sitting. You just got a
have,
little thing in the middle,
no,
and
you
get better snacks.
But I feel like that's a big deal in a general sense of things. Like generally speaking, it's not a big deal, but in a plane, it's a big deal. Like when you're in that world, right?
See, lucky for us, we get a whole row. But I mean, we're paying more, so we got me, Neri, Jet. We're paying for. Kai's still free, and then whoever's working, they're like, oh, I'll just give you the next row too, right? I'm like, yes.
Yeah, be nice to your flight attendant.
Oh,
you get some
100%.
benefits.
Trust me. My best friends when I used to fly were all flight attendants, and hey, I'm heading here. Next thing you know, I'm getting coupons and this and that. I got moved up, and it was great.
Yeah. I'd never be rude to a flight attendant. Like you're locked in a box for 4 hours, 30,000 feet in the air, man. You really got to play by the rules, Be pleasant, be nice.
Yeah, there's no tolerance anymore.
Yeah.
It's a little bit of a scary situation because if there is a situation, whether it be medical or a difficult passenger, like it is a good 20 minutes, 15 minutes for the captain to get the aircraft on the ground. So we are trying to dealing with the situation, for that time. So it can be stressful when something is happening.
Yeah.
But yeah, I agree. There's no tolerance anymore. And then you get put on a do not fly list. So you can be as difficult as you want. You're not flying on any airline.
Oh, really?
Yeah, we share the same.
Interesting.
So are they spacing people out? Is that what they're doing in flights now? Like every second? No, everybody's still crammed in, and I'd have a hard time with that because you're making me wear a mask, and then you're putting me in a box. Like I get claustrophobic. It's the only time I feel very like trapped, and you put somebody next to me, and we're rubbing arms, and then I'm in the corner seat and I got a mask on. I'd have a hard time.
But what are they going to do? Rip the middle aisles out of every airplane?
That's what they were doing initially. They were blocking off the
middle. They were
ones.
in the beginning, but unfortunately,
logistics, it doesn't make any sense.
Yeah.
No, it makes no. And to be honest, it's actually you couldn't have a safer time to fly than right now. The airports are so clean.
Yeah.
The aircrafts are so clean. So it's as far as cleanliness, it's a good time to fly right now.
So I'm wondering, is the measures that they're taking even necessary? Right. So, for instance, I got a person I know. They own a gym out in California, right? And they've been closed since January. They're like, "Oh, we're gonna get these UV light rays put into the air ducts and that." And it's like $20,000. I'm like, $20,000. And so like all these guys are doing it. It's like, well, is it just gonna get to a point where like a lot of things are gonna just get abolished? You know what I mean? Like a lot of businesses just that's it, and then we just like the new
Yeah.
businesses come trickling out of that. Like, is it a rebirth? Is
Yeah,
that
well,
what's going on?
we were talking about that off camera about could the
Yeah.
airlines, and the big ones, right? Air Canada, WestJet, even your company. I mean, who knows? But that's, I guess, where we have to say, how hard do we want to push the airlines? Do we want them to strip it down to a single row, and,
Yeah, exactly.
and from an economical
Are you
standpoint,
gonna
they
pay
go
for
to
that?
business? Exactly.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden, you're all going to go to business. So guess what? Now you're driving to Mexico. You got to take
Exactly.
holidays for 8 weeks so you can get your ass to Mexico by car.
Whenever I go to a business and they got masks, like giving you masks, I'm like, wow, that's ultra generous.
Yeah.
Like, that's crazy.
Yeah.
And us as consumers, like business owners, we know everything that costs everything. Like these cards are,
Everything,
12
yeah.
cents each. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so we know the cost on everything. And I think as consumers, we think that, hey, like the only way I'm going to go there is if somebody gives me my own rag when I'm working out, and you got to clean it every night, and I want a fresh one every morning, and you know what I mean? It's like, oh, I didn't know we had towel service, so it's like,
and
who's
now your
gonna wash
membership
it?
is 3 times
But
cost.
then that's the whole problem. It's like, okay, so
Yeah.
if we want to go on the airline and we want it to be completely safe, and we want to make sure that everything is washed down, there's nobody within 6 feet of me, then are you willing to pay triple the price? And 90%
And
of
that's
us
the way it
won't.
goes.
No.
Yeah.
That would be even high, 90%.
Well, and that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
And so it's like us as consumers have to realize that not everything is going to be up to your standards, and not everything is going to be, you know what I mean? Like perfect, because every business, doesn't matter how big the business is, has somebody up top. There's always somebody running a business. Just because you walk into Edible Arrangements and you see a franchise name doesn't mean there's no face to the owner.
Yeah, exactly. There's a
you know
human
what I mean?
being.
There's a human being behind your gas station, behind, you know what I mean? And I realized that later in my life, because when you're younger, you're like, oh yeah, I could just whatever, like, you can make a mess in here or do whatever, right? And if people here snagging toilet paper, right? Like in March, people were snagging toilet paper from us, and we're like, like, that's me. Like, you guys have met my kids.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You know my wife. You know my first name. You know where I live.
No,
like,
RJ, you have a business, so you're a millionaire.
Yeah, exactly.
Tyler, you have a business, you're a millionaire.
Yeah.
That's how it works.
Yeah,
Right?
that's how it works.
We don't struggle. We don't stress.
Yeah.
We have no
just because we don't work
payments.
the 9 to 5s. Like, we actually have it harder because of the no 9 to 5s, the non-security, right?
Yeah.
And
yeah,
so
you wear a lot of hats.
we wear a lot of hats. If Rick wants to take a day off because his back is sore, who's got to jump in there? You know what I mean? Like, it's not some random Joe Schmo. It's like the quality's got to stay the same, right? If your manager can't make these, you're going to be out there putting in 18 hours.
Oh yeah.
So the small business owners, like, show a lot of love, like, legit, like, appreciation for us goes a long way.
Yeah.
Like, Rick always gets Cubby treats.
I love Cubby
This
treats.
guy gets the Cubby treats. I'm off my diet Friday, so my mid-morning people,
I pieced you out.
he pieced me out.
pieced you
but I
out.
want my mid-morning to piece me. Hints, Kyla.
Yeah. I just put it out there.
Yeah.
Coaches love Cubby treats.
We love treats.
Yeah, we love treats. We will make you do one less burpee for one Cubby treat.
Yeah, I might like you more.
So, a lunch lady, you mentioned that it was the worst job ever. Can you tell us why? So you're a lunch lady at your daughter's school. This is obviously pre-edible arrangements,
Yeah, this is when I was stay-at-home mom and trying to, just get out there.
Yeah.
So they needed a lunch lady to run the lunch program.
So you stood behind a big counter and slop food like little prisoners, or
No,
what?
I had to walk to each classroom, make sure they behave, and it was like the worst job ever.
So you were like the discipline lady.
Yeah, pretty much.
Oh, so you had nothing to do with food.
No.
Oh,
No.
okay. So they have those in school? Did you carry a stick? Did you beat children? What'd you do?
Okay, so the teachers would go on break, and then that's when you would come in and just make sure they're not throwing food at each other.
Pretty much. So they'd throw food at me instead.
Perfect.
Yeah.
That sounds like the worst job ever.
It was.
Oh my God.
I had to write it.
Try
Now
to
I know what it
discipline
is.
Kids during their break.
Yeah.
With no teacher, they don't even know you. Good luck.
Yeah. Well, you see how they treat a sub. Imagine how they treat a lunch lady.
Yeah.
That's just a lunch lady.
So you got kids in school. How are they adapting to the new regulations, COVID restrictions? Like, what does a school look like these days? I don't even know. I don't have kids. I
Yeah.
don't really like
To
them
be
that
honest,
much.
I think the kids adapt better to it than adults do.
Yeah.
Like.
But kids, not teenagers.
Well, my son's turning 13 in December, and you mean hockey or school mask? Like it's just automatic. It's just his mask and sanitizing his hands is just automatic, and he follows the rules of the cohorts at school, and even at he comes to the business sometimes to help out, and it's just he's just more programmed, I think, than sometimes the adults. So, but he's adjusting fine. It's different. Like he misses Because if your friends aren't in your cohort, you don't see them at lunch hour.
What's a cohort?
Basically, what they do is at schools, you have to stay within your group. So if a case does erupt, they only have to take that one group out of the school, not shut down the whole school. So your lunches, you even walk in with that, like the same people, the same door.
So how do they determine your cohort?
They determine it at the beginning of the year.
Based on like just who's friends, or do you pick
No,
1, 2, and
just-
3, and all the threes are together?
Pretty much, yeah.
Wow.
Based on your grade.
That's crazy for high school, like, because you want to be part of your clique, you want to be part of your crew, and now you got to make new friends. You know what? I like this.
Remember going? The biggest excitement was like seeing whose class I'm in and who's in my class. I'd go over to my high school, I'd look at the door, wait, go back the next day, wait. So, yeah, that would be crazy.
It's different.
It'd be hard too if you had somebody you didn't like in there.
Yeah.
Well, he doesn't have any of his friends, so all his homework's done.
Yeah.
He's doing awesome.
Yeah. You know, I was just going to say, I really like that idea. I feel like that's exactly what's needed, because we get part of our crew and we just do whatever our crew does, right? Like you surround yourself with, you are the 5 people you surround yourself with. So if you're a bunch of degenerates, guess what? Your whole year, you're a degenerate. But maybe if you get 4 other people that are a little bit different than you, it brings you up a little bit. That's a great idea.
Strategically
Even
planning.
here on the Blue,
man.
if I'm with my friends, I goof around.
Yes.
If I'm with
Good point.
Yeah.
Good point. Yeah.
Who'd you work out with today?
Rick.
Okay. Yeah.
Me.
Yeah.
We did pretty good, I think. I
Yeah,
got a
we
good
did
sweat
well.
on.
We did well, yeah.
You've been with dudes all week.
I have been, yeah.
Alpha males.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right on. So, in addition to that, not only does she do all of this, she's also the president of her union for flight attendants.
Yeah.
Flight attendants. Let's get that running right. What does that mean? What does that entail?
Basically, I ensure that the company is following our contract because there's federal regulations for the airline industry, but as far as we have our own regulations with our company. So
Okay. So you get together with all of the flight attendants in a big room and you guys discuss the future, your contracts, where you see yourself, stuff like this?
yeah, I have to run so many meetings per year with the flight attendants, and then, well, it's called our members, and then I also have to meet with the other, because I have to meet with the big airlines too, like all the airlines across Canada. We have to get together every 3 months to discuss on a national level what the industry standards are and what's safe and what's fair. And then I have to meet with the company frequently if there's an issue, which can be quite often, especially since COVID hit. It's been really busy.
Can you give us an idea of the kinds of issues you deal with?
It could be something of working too long of a day. Maybe the flight attendant didn't agree to a certain flight. Might be outside of our contract, the way their day is going to be, because it's all about safety, right? Like you want to make sure if there's an emergency that the flight attendant's not tired or overworked or whatever the case may be. So yeah, I'd say pretty much long days would be the biggest issue that I have to deal with.
So how do you combat that? So let's say you're flying up north and weather conditions forces you to stay there. You guys stay obviously in a hotel or something like that. But what if you couldn't? What if you had to stay in the airport? What if everything's under lockdown? Like that happens?
It can happen, yeah. We have our own crew houses. Like they actually have like an apartment building for us. So with COVID, that's been really helpful because at least we're not coming in contact with anybody else. But yeah, no, we've had people stay wherever.
Yeah.
Yeah, trying to find a place for them to stay overnight. And we always have a reserve crew. So if somebody does have bad weather and their day is getting really long, and basically we turn into a pumpkin at a certain hour, we always have a reserve crew there to pick up if we can't fly. So
Okay, cool. Yeah, I could see it would. I mean, if I was up in Flin Flon and they were keeping me there, I'd probably bitch a little bit. But if I'm down in Cancun, I'd be like, I'm good.
Yeah.
I'm good. You can keep me here a few days.
yeah.
So are you allowed off the so if you go down to, let's say, somewhere warm, just from your personal past experience, if you go somewhere warm and you have is it always planned so well that you know you're coming right back?
Yeah.
Yeah. So you never run into complications. You're there for like a week because, I don't know, the plane maintenance or something like.
They would send another plane in. They want us in and out because time is money.
Yeah.
So most like to a hot destination, it's very rare that you're going to get. It's not like the good old days where you have layovers and everyone's posting these pictures of all the things they're doing on their layovers.
Okay.
It's quick turns.
Yeah.
But everything's seniority based. So if there is going to be a layover, it's going to go to number one seniority, not.
So
not
you
the
want
newbies.
layovers?
Oh, you want layovers? Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, you want to take one trip and then just chill out.
So the life of a flight attendant would be like, hey, honey, I'm going to work. You end up in Cancun and on the way, and then you're back and, hey, honey, I'm back from work. And you were already in Mexico in that 8-hour period.
Yeah.
That's kind of cool.
But is it 8 hours? So like if it's let's say it's a 4-hour flight, right? So 4 hours there plus loading this and that, 4 hours back. What
Well, and you
what
have
does a day look like?
Most of our days are around 12 to 14 hours.
Okay.
Yeah,
That's what I
because
was
you have to
thinking.
check in, you
Yeah.
have to do
The
all
whole
your
process.
safety. Yeah. Like there's a lot of safety. I don't think people realize the work that goes in before you step on that aircraft.
Can you tell us? Because I'm just like us here. The amount of things that we do prior to people coming on the Blue is incredible. I'd like to know
Yeah.
what is done.
Well, just the safety checks. Like
Yeah.
the captain has to do we all have, it's all checklist, right? The entire airline industry is checklists. So the captain has his checklist, the first officer has his checklist, flight attendants have their checklist, and then we have to meet as a group. So the captain goes through emergency situations just to make sure that it's called one crew concept. So to make sure that we're all thinking the same, make sure that we're all fit to fly. Because if there is an emergency, we need to really work together and get that aircraft on the ground. So
what kind of training did you do in the beginning? Let's say with I don't know, pick a topic. Let's say crash landing, or is it superstitious to even talk about it? Have you ever dealt with one? Hard landing?
I've dealt with a few situations. Yeah.
Holy shit! Tell us about it. Was it scary?
No, you know what? To be honest, aircrafts are so safe.
Yeah.
And the pilots are so skilled.
Yeah.
That and the flight attendants. Our job is to keep the passengers safe.
Right.
And you're so trained, and you have to train. Pilots have to train twice per year. Like they go to a simulator. Flight attendants have to do it one time per year, and you have to go through everything, like every safety issue, every medical issue, every fire issue. So there's not being on an aircraft doesn't scare me at all.
No, but it does scare everybody else.
It does.
And I actually don't even know why. Because I mean, if you were compared to probably driving a vehicle, you're what 100 times safer, 1,000 times safer, something like that. Yeah.
So why are there no parachutes?
Parachutes?
Yeah.
How would you organize 300 people into parachutes?
You can't even get people to leave their bags.
Keep their shoes on.
Yeah, keep your shoes on, or just sit in your seat when we're landing.
You know why they drop the oxygen? To chill you out.
You high?
Yeah.
They got heroin in there or what?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, just put you all to sleep.
Calm you down. Yeah.
Is that a myth? Is it just oxygen?
Don't share my secrets.
I'm totally fascinated by the travel industry, and there's a lot of things that happen. Let's say if you want to go back to 9/11, you got to think to yourself, how did that go down? How did these men in that take over the aircraft? And I understand that there might have been compared to now, like lax rules, and they probably didn't have like the bulletproof door or whatever. I don't know. I'm just kind of talking what I think is happening, but you always got to wonder when you're stuck in that box at 30,000 feet, how do you? And you guys are outnumbered, really. I mean, there may be half a dozen of you, and there's 300 of us. And how do you keep control when people get into panic mode because everybody is so terrified? Let's be honest. You get a little bump, people are freaking out. They're screaming. You know what I mean? I'm always just fascinated by it. I don't know. So I'm really glad that you're on there. I want you to tell me more stories if you have them.
Yeah. No, it's a challenge when somebody goes into panic mode. It is a challenge and also now your time is just with that one person. And you might have 300 people, 299 other people to deal with. But it's definitely a challenge when someone goes into panic mode. That would be the biggest challenge.
So that happens often?
Doesn't happen often, but it will happen. I do find it interesting. Like I don't even feel turbulence anymore. Like even doesn't matter if it's a 737 or a smaller aircraft. I don't know. There's sea lakes. I guess I have air lakes. Like I just don't even feel it.
Yeah.
I went on a girls' trip once, and I guess the turbulence was insane. And I slept through the whole. I landed. I was like, "Hey, girls, let's party." And they're like, "How did you not feel that?" But
they're all puking.
Yeah. It's panicking is probably one of the worst things you could do on an aircraft.
Yeah.
So what are the rules right now? Somebody goes to Tulum. So when they get to Tulum, do they got to quarantine?
That's a good question.
That's a good question. The rules just recently changed. Like I know Europe just changed that you have to quarantine now for 14 days, which is going to cause further disasters for the airline industry because we're already destroyed. So I don't know the specifics on the quarantine rules.
But that is basically the number one reason why people aren't flying, right?
Yeah, how can you afford to take a vacation then come to Canada and another 2 weeks off? Like no one can. You can't even go to the grocery store. Your kids can't go to school.
And they track you too, don't they?
They track you. Yeah.
Do you know that?
No.
Yeah. When I was getting my haircut, Dina was telling me.
Oh, they track you after.
They know where you were, and they start phoning you, and where are you right now, and all kinds of stuff. Like it's crazy.
They'll show up at your house.
Yeah.
No, that 14-day quarantine is really really hurting us.
Huh.
Yeah, that's one of the reasons why I don't want to travel. I don't want to go somewhere and then potentially have to quarantine.
Yeah.
and then come back, and then it's a 4-week holiday.
Yeah. No, I understand.
And it's not a holiday.
And I don't want to be
because you're
stuck
in a room.
in a, yeah, exactly.
Exactly.
Like at least if you could walk
Yeah.
outside or something, be like, whatever, another 2 weeks.
Yeah.
You know, if you could, financially power through it, right?
Yeah, but then you have to quarantine when you come home. Like, it's just, you mean you wouldn't be able to come here? Like,
Yeah.
I'm not sure how that's going to be solved, but it's destroying
So
us.
This is going to take a long time. Like, they don't even have a vaccine out yet, right? So, my biggest thing is when I talk to people, like, oh, COVID cases are rising, so I'm going to wait.
Mm-hmm.
What are you waiting for? You're going to wait You've already been waiting long, and now you're going to wait even longer.
Mm-hmm.
And so it's like, if they don't get a vaccine out within the next little while, and even if they get the vaccine out, it's still got to get tested, and then it's got to get distributed. It's not like there's going to be, you know what I mean? Everything's going to be good in the next month.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, get used to it.
Yeah.
Get ready for at least a year kind of thing.
Yeah, the union I represent did a big rally on October 20th in Ottawa about rapid testing, just trying to maybe get that implemented.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Because if something's not implemented soon, yeah, you're right. You won't be taking a vacation. It's not even going to be an option because there's going to be no airlines left. So
and I could take a lashing for this, but it's like, why do if you go get tested and then you're negative, why do you have to quarantine still? It doesn't make any sense. You're negative.
Yeah.
So it's like, if you're negative, you're negative. Oh, well, the symptoms could come out late. No. It's said I'm negative.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
And there's always the words, well, it could, and it could, and it could. Well,
exactly.
I guess. I mean, a
Could.
million things could happen,
Yeah.
but I mean, if you're negative, you're negative.
You're
Exactly.
negative.
Move
So
on.
Then that's it. I'm done. You gave me my 48-hour results. I'm good to go back to my life.
So your prediction is it's going to last for a while, so keep powering through, right? My prediction is, and I told you this off camera, I feel like there's a lot of factors that determine the way people feel about COVID.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously, the media hype. I feel like the U.S. presidential election, once that is over, right? COVID is very politicized, so they're keeping it alive and well for the election. I feel like once that's done, we're going to see less and less in the news cycle, which means less and less people are going to hear about it, which means we're going to feel a little more comfortable in the world. I think it's still going to exist, just like the flu does, right? We're just going to deal with it. I do like the fact that COVID happened because it slowed us down as a society. It made us sort of rethink. Yeah, it hurt our businesses. Me too, big time. But I just feel like pre-COVID, it was just we just woke up to be greedy.
Yeah.
We woke
I
up to
agree.
make money.
Yeah.
We woke up
And
to
doing things
buy
just
shit.
to do things.
Exactly.
We were getting so bored with doing what was awesome that now we're doing such stupid,
Yeah.
radical things that didn't make any sense.
Exactly.
No, I'll never take for granted like a night out with my friends or seeing family, or you mean my daughter can't come home right now, or even just her being able to get on an aircraft and fly home.
Yeah.
So
And prior to this, he was like, I don't want to go to Earl's again.
Yeah.
I don't want to go to
Yeah.
the keg again.
Yeah.
Where else can we go?
Yeah.
Like, we need a new experience.
Yeah.
Now it's like if we go to the restaurant, it's like, wow, what is this place? We've never been here before.
People?
yeah, I can't wait for the first girls trip when this.
Yeah.
Well, that's why, the gym is amazing. Like, it's, in
Yeah.
here, it's my time where I just dial out and just coach.
Me
Like,
too.
it's my one time where I don't have to sit and do stuff and deal with stuff.
And you know what? And I feel like it's the only positive place in the world.
So, yeah.
You know what I mean? If
Where
you
else
go,
are you going to get motivated like that? Hey, Kyla, good job making that edible arrangement. You killed it. Great work. Like, how many times have you ever heard that in your life?
Yeah.
Never.
Yeah.
But how many times you hear, hey, Kyla, great form, awesome job, you're crushing it. You heard that at least 3 times today.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And so
Yeah.
it's like, that's 3 times today versus 3 times never in your
Yeah.
life
Yeah.
that you ever get rewarded like that.
the only time that I was actually impressed was I went to the bank, Carpathia Credit Union. They were all like, hey, how's it going?
Oh,
I was
yeah?
like, oh,
They actually had
oh.
personality.
They had masks
Yeah.
and a plexiglass, but,
Yeah.
I could hear them. They actually
Yeah.
projected
That's
their
how
voice.
it should be everywhere.
Yeah, man, because you know how it is now. Everybody's like,
Yeah, it's so
you
tense.
think they're angry,
Yeah.
nobody really wants to say anything,
Yeah.
and you're just kind of creeping, a bunch of zombies creeping by each other. Everybody's
Yeah.
scared of each other.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's why I like coming here too. Thank God this place exists, so you get
Yeah.
a little shot of positivity,
Yeah, I'm really happy. That
And I
the
can
gym's
see your
open.
face. I
Yeah.
can see your face.
Yeah,
I want
yeah.
to see your
Yeah.
teeth. I don't
Yeah.
want to just look at a
Yeah.
mask with
Yeah.
my logo on it.
Totally. Yeah. I think the what people need to really do is you get too comfortable, right?
Yeah.
So it's like you and I are friends, and then you invite me over for dinner, and all of a sudden social distancing goes like completely out of the whack. And that's what I feel people are doing, is that because we're in the same household or because we're in the same area, you're a friend, so I completely trust you and everything is good. So let's just speak this close to each other.
Yeah.
Right. And even now people are trying to talk to me and I'm like, yo, like step away a little bit. Like give me a foot. You know what I mean? I'm not worried about it. If I get sick, I get sick, whatever. But I'm like, yeah, but I just don't want to take time off work. You know what I mean?
That's the issue.
Back off a little bit, right? Like let's because you know me, just because we're close, doesn't mean
What?
that we can't be like this close. Like, the only people I get this close to is my wife and my kids, and that's it.
And he throws elbows at him too.
Yeah, I'm like,
Get out of here.
You know,
Yeah.
oh, sorry, I didn't see that. That's
This
what I
is-
need to do.
This is one of the benefits of getting older and getting deafer. This is
Yeah.
what I'm experiencing right now. So I have to like turn my head and basically just stick my ear at you. So my mouth is this way,
Yeah,
but my
yeah,
ear
yeah.
is this way now.
And that's what
That's the only way I
is.
can hear
You know,
people.
If we're sitting down to dinner, like, don't sit close. If we're watching TV together, don't turn and face each other. Like, find a way
Yeah.
just to, you could be in and still do what you got to do, but just
You know what
align
this?
it properly.
You know what this solved? You remember the close talkers, the people
Yes.
who are like they're right
Yes.
here in your
Yeah.
face when you're talking.
And you're like,
Problem solved.
Yeah.
Yeah, because they have now been shamed. They understand now. Like, back up, buddy.
Yeah,
you don't
yeah,
need
I
to
can
kiss
smell
me.
your breath.
I know when everybody does, I'm like, are we making out right away or what? Why are you licking my nose as you're telling me this story, bro? And you're a dude. Like, get away from me. Anyways, we're at our time. 45 minutes.
Oh wow, that went by
Do
fast.
you have any advice for flyers? Could be how to pack properly. When you get on the plane, don't say
Forget about
this.
COVID. Just
Forget about COVID.
Straight
Yeah,
up.
forget
Okay,
about it. We're
the next
past
time you
it.
fly,
Yeah.
here's how you get special treatment.
Straight up. Don't
Yeah.
be nice about it. Just be
Yeah.
like, what do you got for
Okay,
us?
yeah, what is
No,
it?
keep your shoes on when you go to the washroom.
Oh,
Oh,
yeah.
God. I'm one of those guys.
What?
Yeah, I hate shoes. Yeah.
Oh,
We
well, look at that.
cannot
Look
be
at the look.
friends.
Yeah.
Oh, that's it.
terrible.
Relationship's over. Back away, buddy.
Okay, so where are my shoes? I
Keep
didn't
your
know that
shoes
was a
on.
problem.
And you know what?
with
There's
people.
nothing wrong. A lot of times people ask if flight attendants can take tips, but what I do is I just get like a $5, $10 Starbucks gift card.
Yeah,
and
well,
I
yeah.
just hand it to my flight attendant on the way out.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, no, shouldn't you hand it on the way in?
True, you will get an extra
Yeah,
drink.
okay, there
Yeah.
you go.
You'll get quick
That's a
service.
great tip
What
right
kind
there.
of what kind of stuff can us non-drinkers get? Earbuds, I
Well,
guess, if they have
a
the
smile.
in-flights.
Yeah.
Smile.
We won't talk about you in the back or put things
Have
in
you
your
ever caught
drinks.
anybody having sex?
Oh, that's a good question. Any Mile High Clubbers?
Have I caught them?
Yeah.
I've had assumptions, but have I caught them? No.
No. So
Oh,
what
really?
would you do if you heard like the butt hitting the door and you knew there was some thumping going on there? Would you like break it in there, or
I
would you
just
just
put
let
a
him finish up?
Out of order sign on
Yeah,
that. And
there you
not
go.
my problem.
Yeah.
It can
Oh,
be
yeah.
cleaned when it hits the ground. Yeah.
Totally. There
Yeah.
you go.
That's awesome. All right, Kyla, thanks for coming in. Everybody, do us a favor, like, comment, and share this video. Did we get to our 10,000 yet?
And Sasha, don't forget, you got this.
Oh, why'd you remind her?
Oh, yeah, and Olivia.
Man,
Boom.
forget it.
Olivia's got to be on Facebook.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Did we get to our 10,000 likes yet?
We are 700 away.
So let's explain it one more time what they need.
So go to
we
our
can-
Fit Club fan page where you're watching this video from right now. Like it and share it. And if you can, invite your friends to like it as well.
There it is. And we're done.